Today's review is sponsored by BigBadToyStore.com. Where does RedX get his incredible toys? At BigBadToyStore.com. Where else can you buy top-of-the-line quality products at an affordable price? Head on over to BigBadToyStore.com right now and start your pre-ordering for this and other great products today. And tell them RedX and Nicole sent you.
Well, here it is finally, the RedX review of epic proportions that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And by that I mean it took a year's worth of time to get a hold of this thing. Throughout sales and so much more that I could possibly come up with, I was able to get a certain amount that I needed in order to order one of these. And may I say, last weekend was quite a hassle for me, because if you saw my latest video on my channel, you know by far that this is probably the one and the only actual Hot Toys Batmobile that came out of production with an issue when it comes to its electronics. The right tail light was not lit up. I pried that sucker open to find out what the problem was, and I can tell you that the wires were pretty much cut off the circuit board, as I'm going to call it. So I learned a new skill over the weekend with a little help here and there and a lot of support. Thank you everyone. Thank you for all the support. For those who saw the video, you could tell how extremely ticked off I was. Here it is, the Hot Toys Batmobile, the 1989 Tim Burton, Michael Keaton Batman film. It's already on its rotating stand, which is down here, which we don't have to get into because, well, this is a big behemoth, and I can also tell you that it is very heavy. So heavy that I'm not really going to do anything besides actually rotate it in this video. I'm not going to lift it. I'm not going to show you underneath. If you want to see all that, if you want to see the box, the only thing that I can say is go watch somebody else's review. I mean, there's tons of them already. But anyway, what you're looking at right now is pretty much the cocoon, or the shield, from the Batmobile. It looks pretty nice, but beyond this, it's nothing but just a hard shell. It does absolutely nothing. The wheels don't turn or anything like that. There was some plastic that was encased all over it to keep it from getting scratches, and pretty much like everybody else, whenever they received it, it was pretty scuffed up and all that, so best to just remove it and leave this for like dust collecting or something, so nothing gets on top of the actual car on the underneath of this thing. Let me push this up some. Anyway, that's pretty much it. You can see that there's like these little fingerprints here and there and all that. And even though I've done my best to try and wipe these off, they just seem to keep coming back. I don't know what it is, so I'm not even going to bother with it anymore. There's no point to it. It is a nice piece. It really is. And it's very movie accurate. It's a lot better than the actual Toy Biz release back in 1989. Removing that, you can see on the inside we have like little soft pads here and there to keep the car from getting damaged during shipping, and I can already tell you that it works in some places, but then also there's a few places where it's still tight around the car, and it will leave like scuffs and blemishes, because unfortunately for my Batmobile, that was one of the issues as well. Like everybody else, no offense, it don't matter who you are, it don't matter what you do or what site you get your Batmobile from, there's going to be a problem with it. There's going to be scuffs, there's going to be blemishes, there's going to be so many problems that you can't fix. You just, here it is, the Batmobile. Very nice, very awesome. I love this thing. It is so cool. Even if it had electronic issues when I first got it, I gotta say, this is truly a movie masterpiece. Here's pretty much some paperwork just to show you verification and proof that I did buy this myself. Yeah, that's how much I actually paid for it. Yeah, now you understand why I went so crazy over the weekend to try and fix this thing. And I know a lot of you are probably like, well, why don't you just take it back? Send it back and get another one. Well, yeah, like I'm gonna pay about what, $85 again just to ship it back. So yeah, I did have them inspected. They actually opened up the box and checked out to see if there were any scuffs or blemishes to the vehicle, which I gotta say they did pretty good, but for the point they did miss one or two here and there. So there's that. They also left this like everybody else. Pretty much there was these brakes installed to the back of the wheels, and unless you remove them, you're not going to be able to rotate the wheels on the back of the Batmobile, because if you do, then obviously you're going to damage something. I've already taken the liberty to removing all that. It's all in this bag right here, pretty much. All this. So, that out of the way, let's take a look again at the car. It is beautiful, it really is. A nice matte finish to the Batmobile, not glossy or anything like that. So this is definitely a big plus when compared to my other two cars. It's like father and sons right here. Look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. There's the Batmissile Batmobile, which I said was the best toy Batmobile ever. And I'm sorry, this is crazy. I wouldn't mess around with it though, but I mean, if you wanted to, you could actually play with it. So, I mean, look at this. Good gracious. Look at the size of this thing compared to it. And not just that, but look at the size of it compared to the Dark Knight Collection Batmobile. I mean, this is just, it is beautiful. It really is. It is freaking huge. And it has to be for a 1/6 scale actual size to a Batman figure. So in this case right here, this very nice protective case, which isn't needed anymore, you have all the accessories, which I've already taken the liberty of putting inside the vehicle, except for a few, which we will go through. We have the shim breakers, which I'm only going to use one during the video, which is going to be the right one. I'll show that off in a second. You've got your instructions manual. This rod here, I can already tell you that you should not actually put this on the Batmobile or inside the canopy, because if you do, it is not meant to come off. And it took me a long time to pry this sucker off, and I did cause some damage to it, if you can see that right there. So my advice, just leave it off. It's not needed. Even on the instructions it said that it wasn't needed. There we go. See, the rod is not required for the sliding function. You don't need it. There's also these grappling hooks that were seen in Batman, while Batman was making his escape with Vicky Vale from Joker's thugs on the street. Pretty much made a sharp left turn with these. They do open up, and they're a little hard to do with one hand, so just bear with me for a second. But simple enough. You just flip this piece down right here and you can install it like so. And I know it's not perfect without them sticking out all the way, but like I said, it's loose, and look at that, it just came right off. I'll fix that in a minute, but that's pretty much that gimmick. You also got yourself a bat magnet, which I'm not going to hold up so close to the camera because I might actually ruin the camera, but it's got a nice little Batman insignia right there. It's used to show some other reveals of some features here and there, so just like so, flip this out, and you've got the Bat Disc launchers that were used in only one scene in Batman Returns. Not the original Batman film, just Batman Returns, where he's shooting the motorcycle thugs with those giant googly-eyed skull helmets, which, you know, was kind of silly, but, you know, whatever. It was supposed to be a dark film anyway. It was a Tim Burton film. What do you expect? So there's that. You can use it to flip this piece up like in Batman, and where Batman's pretty much busting through the Axis chemical plants. He shoots down the doors, going from side to side like so with the turret guns, which is pretty cool. Very nice pop-up machine guns. Very nice chain link, which is pretty cool. It is actually removable if you want, but I wouldn't do it. And it also wastes time on the review. This piece right here, the cock piece, is actually, it moves. You know, it's articulated. That's kind of cool. Like I said, it can go up, it can go down, it can go left and right, which is awesome. I mean, it didn't do it in the film, but how else could he shoot the bullets from side to side to take the door down? So that's awesome. And it's easy enough just to push it back down. Take the top, just cover it back up like so. It's held on by a very strong magnet, so it's not going anywhere. So there's that. So I'll go ahead and take the shim breaker next. Might want to get the bat magnet for this. That's what I call it, at least. So we're gonna open up this side right here. And this is gonna be hard doing with one hand, but you're supposed to, like, well, actually that was pretty easy. It just locks into place like so. So there's the shim breaker. Pretty cool, huh? Yep, just like in Batman Returns. See, this thing actually features a lot when it comes to both Batman and Batman Returns, which makes me wonder whether or not it's actually important for Hot Toys to reproduce this Batmobile again in the future for Batman Returns license. I really doubt it, considering how they've got just about every single feature that the actual car had in both movies incorporated into one product. But I will say this, however, if they ever do decide to do the Batmissile Batmobile for Batman Returns license, I say it would be best just for them to actually do just the car itself, split it in its Batmissile mode instead of, you know, trying to figure out a way to execute these sides here. Just for added features, these caps right here can open up, not easily, but they can, and you can like pretend that Batman's filling up his Batmobile. And for some reason, they're on both sides, but then again, that's how it is actually on the actual vehicle, so there's that. And now I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the actual light-up feature to this thing with one hand. Simple enough, you take this piece off like so, and be very careful. Didn't mean to bump that, but it's alright. There's an on and off switch here. It requires 3 AA batteries, and make sure they're, you know, not used batteries or mixed batteries, as it said on the actual instruction manual. You want to take this thing very delicately. So flip the switch like so, and there it is. So the tail lights actually light up, very nice. And might I say, it is nice to have a Batmobile with 2 tail lights on both sides, not just one. Get it, Kenner? Anyway, as you can see, also the jet exhaust actually it actually lights up as well. Like I said, the flame exhaust, it's not as bright as it could have been, as we were actually hoping, most of us, the consumers who actually bought this thing. But if you look in there very carefully, you can see that they are actually some very bright LEDs. But it's just this thing right here that's blocking it. I mean, it would be very bright if this wasn't in the way, but, you know, it's in the movie, so what can you do? So there's that. There's pretty much the back, so let's rotate this thing around like in Batman Returns and show the front of it, and there you go. Look at that. Look at those badass looking headlights. So menacing looking, so cool, so very sleek. I love this thing. It is just beautiful. It is extremely a masterpiece. You can see the hubcaps on the wheels have the bat insignia, and I know a lot of people are complaining about the hubcaps being silver instead of being black like they were in the movies. Well, if you think about it, some promotional shots of the Batmobile originally for Batman and a couple of posters here and there did have silver hubcaps rather than black. So I guess that's what they were going with. So they got a bunch of incorporations of so many things on the Batmobile for this one Hot Toys. They got Batman, they got Batman Returns, they got promotional shots and such for the Batmobile. They got everything incorporated into this toy. So what are you complaining about? Other than that, the wheels do actually turn, which is nice, and they are very nicely detailed like in the actual film. Very cool. And they feel like real tires, they really do, especially for how much you pay for this thing. Very nice. Very nice detail here on the sides, all the wires and such. I did not know that this bit right here and here were actually painted blue, or a metallic blue. I thought they were just silver as well, as shown on the prototype of this Batmobile, but wow. So much I'm learning about it. So much. I mean, this is just so awesome. The vents here, so nicely detailed. The inside here, I mean, if you can see that, it's very nicely detailed as well. So is this right here. I don't know what it is. I don't know what any of this is, but, you know, I don't know cars, but this is amazing. It is so awesome. I love this thing. And I guess the only thing that I can actually show off now is, you know, Batman himself inside the Batmobile, which I've already taken the liberty of doing. There he is. So as you can see, here's Michael Keaton inside the Batmobile. As it rotates, you can see a full 360 of him. He's actually got his hands on the wheel, might I add. I know you can't see that, but bear with me for a second. Hopefully I got my light on me, in which I do. Now you can see it. Very nicely detailed. As you can see, the lights are on inside the interior, which is not really that easy to see because it's not a bright LED as it could have been. So let me just turn this light off for a second, see if that helps. Can you see it now? Hopefully you can. But yeah, it is nicely detailed. Even if the lights aren't as bright as they could have been, you can see everything. I mean, look at this. I mean, you can see the gas mileages, all that. You can see the buttons and the details. I mean, this isn't stickers either. This is actually printed on. This is amazing. And look, even right here, they're showing the graph of the Batmobile. You can see it right here. The only thing that's missing, I mean, if they were going for Batman Returns as well, it's just this little text that could have been on the right side that said foreign object located. You know, when the Batmobile was being hacked by this little device at the bottom of it. Which sometimes I feel like that's what exactly this thing is. This toy here has caused me so much issue over the weekend. I feel like I was being hacked or something. My Batmobile was being watched by somebody else and they were like messing with it. I don't know. That's what it felt like. I really can't say anything else about it. I mean, it is very nice. It is a nice replica of the Batmobile. Surely I'm not going to get the real thing, so this is better than nothing. I mean, this is as close as it's ever going to get. My only real issue about Batman inside this Batmobile is that he's not actually wearing his boots. I kid you not. That is the only way I could actually get Batman to actually fit flush inside this Batmobile. I had to take his feet off. For some odd reason, this Batmobile is just a little tight around Batman's head, and he doesn't really have enough clearance to get his ears all the way in. And the first time I left him in there for a whole day, I pulled him out, and his ears were bent all over the place. The cowl was just messed up. Thank goodness all I had to do was use a blow dryer to fix that and put it back in place. So, you know, in order to prevent your Batman from getting messed up, especially since he's like $250, might I recommend you take his feet off, because these are easy to just pop on. They're pop on and pop off. It's simple enough. So, yeah, no issues there. No harm, no foul. So that's really it. I mean, I got nothing else to really show off about this Batmobile. I got nothing else to say, but I do have one little issue about it. And like I said, I mean, it's a risk. It's a lot of money that you're putting up forth to buying one of these things. And I gotta say that if you really are going for this, might I recommend that, I mean, well, I can't recommend anything. It's truly, it's at your own risk. If you get this thing and you pay so much like I did, you're gonna, I don't know whether you're gonna like it, you're gonna hate it, you're gonna regret it. It's, like I said, it's up to you. It's at your own risk, so just be careful. And if you do experience any issues with your Batmobile, like maybe the lights and all that, I'm not saying that you should do like me and pry the sucker open and try to figure out what the problem is yourself. I actually recommend that somehow, by the grace of God, you figure out a way to send it back and get another one. That's all I can say. Yeah, I forgot to mention also, when you put Batman inside, you have to put most of his cape on the passenger side, as the instructions show, because it's quite impossible to get him in there, because the cape just, it takes up most of the space on Batman, and it's just really hard to get him in there. You might actually have to contort him here and there, but that's how it is. So unfortunately, it's not perfect, but you know what? This is as close as it's gonna get. And might I also recommend that you get one of these, because this thing will collect dust. It doesn't take long for this Batmobile to get really dusty. So, I mean, even with the shield, somehow dust is finding a way to get underneath it. So, you know, get one of these. Make sure that your Batmobile is alright. I mean, there's going to be scratches and there's going to be blemishes here and there, but there's nothing you can do about that. Nothing's perfect. The Batmobile isn't going to be perfect, but I will say this. Whether it's in good condition or not, whether the electronics work or not, this thing is a must-have for all Hot Toys Batman fans out there. I mean, if you don't have this, you're not a Batman fan, or you just can't afford it, and for that reason only, I can understand. So that's it, guys. I've got nothing else to say. Any questions or comments, you can leave them down below. I'll answer them when I got time. And yeah, so that's me, RedX, signing out. Thank you everyone for watching this, and until we meet again, you know, I'm gonna sit this back on my stand, so I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.